Hello friends, my name is Shivam from DevOps Schools and I will help you to enable your learning process in various technologies of DevOps, artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data and many more. This is our initiative to help you by sharing multiple tutorials and videos. And if you want any specific tutorials or any particular topic, then please do comment in the below comment section and I will help you with it. Also, please subscribe to our premium services on YouTube, which will give you access to more content and videos to enhance your knowledge about all these topics. Also, if you want me to help you with regards to the online trainings and classroom sessions by our qualified trainers, then please do write me at contact@devopsschool.com. Thank you.
So we have this option where we can go and we can add the header and footer for your particular page. It should be inside the edit, I think. I missed it. Where it is, let me check. So we can add header and footer in your page also. I just lost that place. Copy, move, archive, page history, attachment, advanced details. Okay, I'll get back to you on this. I just lost the place where we can add the header and footer at the page level also. Okay, so that is option is also there. I'll check and let you know. Okay, so these are the basically the things about the space. Okay, so we have the space, we have the header and footer, we have the look and feel where you can go and check. We have the option of this the page which has been deleted, what has been not deleted. So those kind of things are available inside the space settings. Okay, now let's talk about a bit about the pages also. So when I open any page and I click on edit, so the look and feel is mostly most of the icons you will see at the top of your page is more or less as a Microsoft Word document or any Word document tool. Okay, where you can use these options to add the things. Okay, so for example, if I want to writing explain, this is string has been written, right? So if I want to make it bold, so I can write like, for example, this is new article. Okay, so I can make it bold. So similarly we can make it italic. So we have this underline, strike through options, code, subscript clear formatting. Okay, so those kind of things are there like we generally have. Okay, when I click on publish, so this change will be applicable on this particular page. Okay, let me go back to edit. So there are many more things. So these are the options of like text color. We have these bullets. So this is the important item. So action item. So when you're working in the organization, you have a meeting and you list down that these are the action item that you have to take care. So you can use this icon to create the action. So this is like, this is the first action that I need to take care. This is the second action. So you have these options to just go ahead and create the actions list, and you can just mark it if it is done. You can like a checkbox. Okay, so in the first meeting it was like one of the tasks is already done. Okay, this is the third, and in the next meeting we have to take care about these two items which is not done right now. So So you can publish it, and in the next meeting we can come back and you can check like what all things are pending and what all things we need to do. Okay, so this is already done, so these two we need to take care. Okay, so that is the action thing, which is something new. Okay, and then we have a link. What is link is basically,
Before
yeah,
we go further, the checkbox thing. If I check something as a team member, my team lead has held X number of actions, 5 are assigned to me. I did a checking of 2 only. Will it maintain the status? I mean,
okay,
if someone I did something, close the page, someone else opens, will it show that someone has checked?
yeah, yeah, yes, yes. So
Okay,
for
it will
example,
maintain
I
the
have
state.
checked it. Yeah, it will maintain the state. So that is what the first important point is. It is being like a it's a collaboration page, right? Everyone can see the same thing.
Right, right.
So whomever you want to share this page with, they will see exactly the same thing which you are seeing right now.
Got it. Yep.
Okay. So link is basically, what is the use of link is? Link is basically if you have multiple pages, okay, and you want to link one page to the other page. So in that case, you can use this. So for example, we already have these pages, right? So we can just mention this and this will come here. Okay, and you click on this. So you can, so this kind of linking you can do if you want the navigation. So for example, like in your application design, you have created a design page, okay, and in the other discussion page you want to mention that design page as a link. So you can mention that like as a link to your current page. Okay, this is how the linking has been used. So for example, this I have created when I publish it, and when I click on this, it will move to that the linked page which we have linked. Okay, so that is how the linking is being used. Okay, let's continue with the same page that we were using. So that is about a bit about there are a few more I need to explain. Let me go back to that. Okay, so that was the linking. Okay, now this is the option files and images. Okay, if you want to add an external file from your local machine to your Confluence page, you can use this option, which will give you a pop-up where you can add any of the pages you want to Confluence page. Okay, this is mention is like if you want to mention someone. So for example, this is the page. So I don't have any additional user, but I'll try if I can mention myself. So I can mention it like myself. Okay, so it's like I'll get the notification that I has been mentioned in this page if I am like my mail and all things, everything is configured. So if my mail is valid, we can see this like someone has, I mean, it's like, for example, it's like an action item for me. So I can mention anyone's name who has been the user of this application, and so that they will I notify that yeah, I have to take care about something. So this is like mention. This is like emoji, so it's self-explanatory. It's like any other emoji, so we can use this for your Confluence. Then we have this table. Okay, yeah, so table is like any other Microsoft tool table, so we can create a table inside your Confluence page, and it's like I mean, it's self-explanatory and I don't need to explain this. So we have the options of table, header, row, column, and you can do all the stuff which is like adding and removing columns and all those stuff. Okay, the second important the second last is layout. Okay, so how you want to lay out your page, so this is a bit useful. So this is like a 2-3, so how you want to like partition your page and how you want to have a layout of your page. So you can create a layout using this icons. Okay, so okay, so this is a bit important. So can you see this? The last one is this has been called as micro. Okay. So what is macro is basically so this macro is like you can it's like a additional plugin kind of thing. Okay. So that you can use this plugins for your creation of your page. So for example, so one thing to note here, the plugin sorry, the micro, you can access it using the slash. Okay, or you can access it using the curly braces. So for the local installation, you will see the macro using the curly brace. Okay, but for cloud one, you have to use the slash. So if I click on this, you will see the macro in case when you are using the default your local installation. But if you are using cloud one, you have to use the slash. Or you can just go inside from here. You can search your macro whatever you want to use. So inline option is the slash, and the if you want to go inside from here, so you can click on this and you can use the different macros. So let me explain few of the macros. So for example, the code snippet. Okay, so you want to add some code in your in your page, so you can write like import abc and like public static void main, just for your understanding, like this. So this will appear as a code. Okay, and you can select the language also. So what is the use of this is basically this will show in the correct format, in the current look and feel, the kind of language, the kind of code you are trying to insert in your application. So it will show in that formatting basically. So you can insert the code like this. Okay, so this is how we can use the macros. I'll explain few more macros. So for example, the other macros I'll show, for example, this action item we have already discussed. So action item that we have, I have shown you from here. You can use, you can select from macro also, like this. It's the same thing. Okay. Then we have the macro like status. Okay. So you can mention like if something is not done, you can add as a green status, red status, it's not done. So these are the macros which we can use. So I'll explain a bit more about one macro which is can be useful is like, for example, if you want to add, like for example, you want to add the videos. Okay, so there is widget connector macro. Okay, when you click on this, so widget connector is being used to add basically if you want to add like a video, a micro for that purpose. Page too many things, so that's why the publish was not working. Now it is done. Let's click on this. When I click on this, can you see the right panel? We have to mention the website, the URL of your YouTube video. For example, you want to mention, and you can mention the pixel width and pixel height. So for example, I'll take one dummy video, for example, so for this, for example, this cricket video. Okay, and I'll go back and I mention here. So for example, if I mention 100 and so this will give you the preview also, how it will look like. and you can publish it. So in this way, you can add a video to your page if you want. You can see, so this video has been inserted into your, so you can resize it if you want. So I have just marked it right now 100 cross 100. So this is the size right now it is showing because of that. Okay, so this is basically all about your pages options, the macros, the various macros that you can use, and actions, those kind of stuff. So let's
Yeah,
stop here a bit and let's try.
because
Yeah,
one query
please.
here. Mostly Jira
Yeah,
and Confluence are used together, as I have heard. Is it right?
yeah, yeah.
Is it possible to, like, if some task is assigned to me in Jira, the and that task
Mm-hmm.
also says that I have to develop a documentation for whatever code I'm developing. How will I link that Jira code snippet or development task action with the? I mean, how to connect Jira with Confluence is the main question.
Jira and Confluence you can integrate. Let me check. I think we have a micro. Can you see here?
Yes.
So if you have your Jira integrated, right now it's not integrated, right? So if you have integrated, you can use this macro and you can mention the ID, just the ID of your Jira, and you can access from here. You understand?
Okay.
So for example, if you remember, we have created few Jira like test one, for example, okay? So I can just go here. You don't have to mention the entire URL. You have to just come here. You can use the Jira plugin, for example. And if the connection is already set, you just mention the Jira ID and that will be like available in your page, so Confluence page itself. Now, when you click on that Jira, you'll navigate back to your Jira. It's like a, I mean, it's like a accessibility. You can see whatever you are doing in Jira can be integrated with your Confluence.
And can you also do the other way around in terms of that when once connected, I can go from Confluence to Jira. Can I also go from Jira to Confluence? I think it should be possible because as
Yes,
a
yes,
product
you can do
manager,
that.
I've got hundreds of developers and I want to see a particular feature being developed, and from that feature I want to go whether it's a documentation level because that feature is more important to end users. So for example, spell check in Word.
Yes, you can.
I have one.
Yes, you can do that. You can do that. We have not covered the integration of Jira and Confluence. If you want, we can cover that later. But yes, we can do that. That's true.
I think that will be more beneficial. See, to be very frank with you, because this elementary training is okay. It's good, right? We understand that what all things are there. I mean, bold, italics, underline, every one of us understand. I don't think any one of us will don't know. I mean, all these things. The good thing was actions was a good thing. Inserting code snippets were good. Another thing is that going to the next level, right? That how can we integrate the things which we are learning? Knowing everything together will not make it a good thali, right? I know how to make a good shahi paneer, good dal makhani, but then how to create a thali, because it is how the overall picture will set together.
Yeah, we can definitely, if you want, we can cover that later. But yes, this can be done. So last session I tried the one integration with GitHub, right? So similarly, we can do that. If you were there in last session of Jira.
I was there in every session.
Okay, so I have integrated that with GitHub, right? So similarly, we can do the integration stuff also. But I mean, I was not been asked. If I've been asked, I can go ahead with the integration part also. But yes, agree to that. Your point is valid because generally Confluence and Jira being used together, considering the Atlassian product and considering the across industry this is being used and considering the licensing thing. So that is, these are the reasons these are being used, mostly being used all together. Okay.
Yeah,
I can
great.
go
That will
ahead
be helpful.
later if you want. I'll try to cover that integration part also. But just to answer your question, yes, we can definitely we can use integration. Sorry,
Sure.
Jira and Confluence
Yep.
together.
Yeah, that is helpful. Thank you.
Okay, so this is mostly about pages. Let's go back a bit and check our installation. So it is asking standalone and clustered. Let's click on next. Database setup we have done, so we have to just mention the details. So these are the default port number, database. We have created Confluence, user will use root. Okay, so these are the database details we have to mention. Let's test the connection if it is working. Okay, so this is successful. So let's let it go because it will take some time. Okay. So this is all about pages that we have discussed. Okay. Now I want to customize few admin stuff. I'll explain. So if you want to change few things in terms of admin, let it publish first. Okay. Let me cover a few stuff related to admin. So in the setting option, the right side we have this setting option. You will see only if you are admin. You can't go and change anything if you are not an admin. So these are the options which you will see at the left side. These are the various options which admin can see. Okay, so I'll cover the important one which is generally being used. So one is the one thing I'll explain is the audit log. Okay, so audit log is being used as admin to check like what all things has been done till now in this page, so that he's aware about what's going on. Somebody's not playing with your Confluence application that has been created. So you can see those things in the audit log. Start trial. So this is again the 14-day trial. These options are not available after the trial period is over. So this is the licensed product. So that's why these options are coming. Yeah, can you see this? So right now these are the log that we can see what is going on till we have started. So we started today only, right? So that's why we are able to see the today's date and the entire audit log. The option of you can export this log also if you want, and you can use it for your analysis purpose. What is if something is wrong or something malicious things is happening, or someone is trying who is not supposed to do that. Okay, so that is one thing. The second thing is I'll try to explain is site logo and favicon. Okay, why I'm explaining this site logo and favicon, because so you see a default logo. Okay, but when you are working in the organization, you want your company or your organization logo to appear in your Confluence page. Okay, so you can just choose a file here, and you can select whatever logo you want for your application, and you can apply that. So for example, if I apply this just for testing, so you can change the favicon also, which is appearing at the top of your browser, and you can just save it. So you can, in this way, you can change your logo for your Confluence page, which will appear immediately. Yeah, can you see this? I think the image is not that good. It has been changed, right? The image that we have selected is now appearing in your top navigation panel. Okay, so you can change the logo like this. If you are using the paid version, you can. So if you're using the paid version, you can check your billing also from here. So this is the option where you can go ahead and check your billing. So this is one important, which is user management. So you can create a user and you can create groups as per your need. Based on your project, you want to create a group based on your team member list. You can create a user so that you can filter out the access who can access to that particular page. So yeah, so this is the page where you can add your. So by default, when you are doing the setup, we have added this XYZ and ABC, and this is the admin anyway. So this is how you can. So this is not validating your email ID. There is no handshake between your email ID that you are entering or user you are entering. So we can, for testing, we can enter anything. So add the team member. Yeah. So this has been added to your system. Okay. So these are like the admin thing, a bit about it. So there is one group. Okay. So these are the groups created by default. You can create your own group also, and you can, for example, test group, and you want to add, you can add whomever you want to add as a user. Okay, if I create, so this is the group. So how it is helpful is, if you, for a particular page, for example, if you want to give access to a 10 user of your team, so you can create a group and you can give a group access. You don't have to go and select each and everyone to add as a user. Okay, so this is how helpful. User, we have covered links. I have covered this macro find new. Okay, so apps I want to cover. So if you want to add any app to your application, so you can go and add the app. So there are various apps available for your application in the marketplace. So they are default application we can find, and you can add from your marketplace also. So for example, I search for Google Drive. Okay, that's not available. Okay, let's filter out. I'll select the free one first of all. Let's search here. Yeah, can you see this? So there are various apps available. So I have filtered out from the free one. So for example, if I want to add this app into your Confluence site, basically we are not inserting anything to your page right now. We are doing the admin task. So for example, the team has a requirement that you want to have a Google Drive options in your pages. So I can add this, get this app, so it will add it to your site, and then you can just use it. So get it now. Now if I go to my page, so it is being added right now, it's not done. So when you add this Google Drive, so you will get the options of Google Drive, what options we have in Google Drive. So same thing we can use in your page also. Okay, so this is done now. Let's test it. Is this app is added to your page or not? So that is one important feature. If you want to add any new feature or new thing which is not available by default in your Confluence, you can go to marketplace and you can add based on that. Okay, so for example, if I go inside our first page, I try to edit this one. So for example, if I want to add a Google Sheet, okay, so slash, if I try it now, Google Sheet, so Google Docs, Google Slides, Google Sheets, so these are available now. So you can use this Google Sheets to your existing pages also. Okay, so this is how you can add any external app. So you have to mention the URL of your Google Sheet, and you can mention the height, the view you want. So right now I don't have a handle with me, so you can just enter the URL of the Google Sheet. That's it. Okay, so this is about this external app. If you want to add, so you can add it, and then you can later use it in your application. Okay, let's check our installation part. Okay, it's still going on. Leave it. Okay, so this is all about macro. This is all about actions. These are the admin tasks that you can do. We cover this. We cover the apps also. We cover the admin tasks. We cover the audit logs. Oh yeah, we have to cover the template. I didn't cover the template one. Let me check.
Thanks for watching. Want to study further? Join our training programs today.